Ashtango, welcome and welcome back to Nomadic Native, everyone. I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in. It has been a long time, 3 years in fact, since my last video. A lot has happened and many life changes have taken place. So while I make a 30-day ferment out of some habaneros I grew, let's catch up. For those of you who have joined the channel over the last 3 years, I'll start at the beginning. On June 14th, 2019, my 55th birthday, Maria and I were boondocking in the driveway and getting ready to hit the road heading for the Winnebago rally in Forest City, Iowa, when I received a call from my VA doctor who told me that the cancer that had cost me a kidney 5 years previous had come out of remission. It had attacked both of my adrenal glands that sit above the kidneys. She said it was stage 4 and told me on that phone call that I had a 60% chance of seeing my next birthday. And I told her, challenge accepted. This, of course, forced Maria and I to come off the road after 3 years of travel and move back into our house where we have been ever since. I started cancer treatment at the VA hospital in Muskogee, Oklahoma. My medication regime was two chemo pills per day and Keytruda via IV every 3 weeks. After about 6 months, I was given an outside referral to Cancer Treatment Centers of America in Tulsa, where for the next year and a half, I continued the same treatment. Over that period of time, the cancer would shrink, then come back over and over, but that's it. Keytruda did not work to kill the cancer, it just maintained the status quo. Then, all of a sudden, and without much warning at all, Cancer Treatment Centers of America in Tulsa closed its doors. I lost my doctor, the medical team that I was working with, and the last thing my doctor told me on my last appointment was to tell my new doctor, whomever that may be, that Keytruda did not work for me. So the VA changed my outside referral provider to Oklahoma Cancer Specialists and Research Institute, also in Tulsa. When I went to the first appointment to meet my new doctor, it was as if he didn't really want to have much to do with me at all. In fact, rather than treating me himself, he wanted to put me into a study that was trying out new cancer drugs. And I blew up all over that poor dude. I really did. I told him I wasn't there to be studied, I was there to kill cancer, and if he wasn't on board with that plan, I'd call the VA and we'd find a doctor that is. Since that day, my new doctor has been absolutely outstanding. He kept me on the 2 chemo pills per day and sent me for 5 shots of SABR radiation. This is a very targeted and very strong type of radiation. The beam can be shaped so that it only hits the target and not the area around the target, so the patient doesn't suffer near the amount of radiation sickness nor side effects. Now, the odd thing about getting radiation to kill cancer is how it actually works. You see, shooting a cancerous tumor with radiation doesn't actually kill it. What it does, in layman's terms, is it gives the cancer radiation sickness, so to speak. And the tumors, they start to shrink and they die, but it takes time. After the 5 shots of Saber radiation, it took about 6 months before the tumors had shrunk so much that the MRI and PET scan machines couldn't find it the first time. 90 days later, we tried again, still couldn't find it. And after another scan 90 days later, my doctor finally told me that I win. I'm back in remission. The machines can't find any trace of it. Now that's the good news, folks. I am back in remission. The bad news is that nothing has changed for me. I'm still taking chemo every day as a preventative because my doctor says I'm at high risk for reoccurrence. Let it try, says I. I'll kick cancer's ass again if I have to. So that's where I stand these days. I'm in remission, but I'm still taking chemo every day. The chemo pills aren't too hard on me, not like you would expect. They upset my stomach throughout the day. They make my stomach hurt pretty bad, and every morning I'm on the toilet first thing, but really that's about it. Over the first 2.5 years of cancer treatment, I lost almost 100 pounds. None of my clothes fit and all that. But after stopping Keytruda and getting the Saber radiation, my appetite got better, and I've managed to put some weight back on, and currently I'm eating like 2 horses to maintain 215 pounds. The amount of groceries I put away, folks, is amazing. As for working and getting things done around the property, well, I don't get to do things when I want to do them anymore. I have to wait until I feel up to doing the work, and due to the chemo, that doesn't happen as often as I would like, nor as often as it needs to happen. Now, as for our Winnebago, Jabba our hut, Maria drove it back to Forest City, Iowa, and sold it last October. It had sat in the driveway without moving for 2 years, and at the time, we didn't know what the future might hold for us. So we decided to let someone else get some use out of it rather than letting it sit. Maria couldn't be with us today because she had an appointment in Tulsa, but she sends her love and best wishes out to all of you and will be back with us in future videos. So other than fighting cancer and winning, what have I been doing for the last 3 years? Well, when my cancer came out of remission, my emotions went off the rails. I was thinking about all that I needed to get done before I died so that Maria could live out the rest of her life in the best way that I could possibly provide. So I fell back on some skills that I had developed over many years previous, and I went back to work. For the first year, I took a job working for a dispensary here in Oklahoma as its master grower, where with a 2-man crew, I ran a 65 light indoor garden flowering 1,024 plants per run. The job went well and I liked it, but just as COVID hit, the owner was wanting to expand, and this put me into direct contact with construction crews during a pandemic while fighting cancer. It was at this point that Maria decided it was best that I come home, but I still needed to be doing something to keep my mind occupied and off the fact that I was dying of cancer. So I built out our 2-car garage into an indoor garden, purchased a grower's license from the state, and for 2 years I ran my own garden. This went way better than I expected it would, and we did really well in that business. But then the laws and rules started to change as the state legislature finally got around to pulling their heads out, and the industry here in Oklahoma has pretty much been handed over to corporate interest, forcing the craft growers like me out of the business. This is fine by me now that I'm back in remission. We really didn't need the money to begin with. I just needed something to keep me busy while killing cancer. So the business is now shut down, and I'm no longer growing 100 plants in my garage, but I do still grow my personal plants because chemo sucks and I don't like puking on my shoes. If you're interested in seeing what that looks like and how I did it, you're welcome to check out my other channel, Native Sugar Shack, here on YouTube. I'll leave a link in the description below. So I think that pretty much brings you guys up to date on the major stuff. Of course, there's a lot of other stuff that happened over the last 3 years, but I suppose I'll save that for next time, if there is one. You see, now that we're off the road and not RVing around the nation with you guys, I'm pretty much at a loss for what to do with this channel. If I continue with it, the content will be a lot different, and I'm not sure I should do that or just leave it as is. My guess is that I will continue to upload videos as life presents opportunities. So if you've not subscribed to the channel, I invite you to subscribe. It's free to do, and hitting that bell will ensure you get notified the next time I upload a video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those in the comments section below and I will respond. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up on your way out the door. Thanks again for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you soon.